Paul, thanks so much for joining me.
Pleasure, real pleasure.
How have you enjoyed the festival?
Do you know what? I've really enjoyed it. These last few hours particularly, with all the rain and all that, and yesterday it was just a little bit people finding their feet, but the energy's just built and built today. So yeah, I'm not ready to go home. It's
yeah, I know. I do feel like we need another day, like just definitely. One more day.
No, we all know where we stand now, and where everything is, and who everyone is. So yeah, let's do this.
No, that's why they call it like the Glastonbury of entrepreneurship, isn't it? So it's like it feels a little bit. Sort of like it's very free, I love it. I love it. I'm really nice. I'm hooked now for life. I think
totally. And we're saying maybe next year we'll build a dance tent and bring a bit of music.
Great idea. Fun, do that.
Yeah.
So Paul, what do you tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and what you're planning at the moment? I know you're wearing, you're branded today, and amazing. We can talk about that, but
definitely,
let's where have you kind of been to get to where you are now?
Okay, so I'm a coder at heart, so I taught myself to code when I was 10. ZX Spectrum rubber keys, remember those? And so I've always been into code. And when I was about 14, 15, I started using computers to make music. So I thought I was going to be a music producer. So I completely just abandoned any form of education, dropped out of college, all of that stuff, because I thought I'm going to be a rap producer. I don't need any of this. So I found myself in shock at the end of college with no career. So I started a record label and very quickly started building websites for that record label. And suddenly Hip Hop Connection magazine journalist was going, hey, who built your website? Because we need one for this DJ battle. And all of a sudden we were building websites, and I had a career building websites, e-commerce sites. My dad wanted one, someone I knew wanted one. And suddenly,
amazing,
out of nowhere, we weren't releasing records and we were building websites, which very quickly became e-commerce sites, which became portals and advanced portals and team portals. And for the last 20 years now, that was 26 years ago, for the last 20 years, we've been specializing in business operations. So custom software, we go into businesses, we see how they work, we find the bottlenecks, we find the frustrations, and we design an optimum desired reality for the company based on software, and then we build it.
Love that. And you're a husband and wife team, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah. Jeannie and I started in our bedroom. 1999. Crazy.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
How's that for the relationship?
Do you know what? I wouldn't want it. I couldn't imagine it any other way.
It's so funny. That's the second time, because I was speaking to Pauline and Johnny from Dr. Pawpaw yesterday, and husband and wife team, and they said exactly the same thing. Like they pick up on each other's strengths and flaws, and together they are stronger. As much as that sounds really corny, it's completely true. And do you find the same?
It's so true. Jeannie's a fantastic deal maker, negotiator. She gets the strategy, she gets the paperwork done. I cannot do any of that. I love product, I love technology. I can architect. You describe me your business, I'll see it visually. I'll see your systems and I'll see what you need to plug, and I'll build it. That's my thing, and I can lead teams to do that. But don't get me on contracts and all of that stuff. But Jeannie excels at that. So together, we're actually, a formidable team. We have rules though, after 5 p.m. and a weekend, unless we're doing something like Autumn, which we'll talk about, but we don't talk work. But what's interesting is our daughter's 26 now, and she's grown up hearing us talk about the business and understanding the business, and now she's our creative director.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
keeping it in the family, I like it.
And she swore she would never work for the rents, and it took some persuasion. So she had a career before she joined us, but because she, we talk about a client, she knows the history of that client, she knows how we work, she knows how we think, and she just plugs that gap as well. So,
I feel like she's got a book in her. It's like "Don't Work for the Rents," a true story, or something like that.
Definitely.
Diary of a daughter in the business, or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
So Autumn. Obviously, because I was going to say, like, AI must be absolutely like optimizing you to the max in terms of a coder, and I can see it as like, again, like sort of like Jeannie's kind of position. Deal maker, AI is helping sort of like, optimize that process massively. And what are you finding with AI? Because I know people have got their opinions about it. There's people who are scared. There's people who are going full force with it. Where are you sitting on the spectrum of AI and where it's taking us?
I'd say all of those at once.
Right.
So there's different levels to this. Obviously, we're building an AI platform, but where that came from is naturally, I mean, AI, when you take it to its core, it's all code, no matter what. We're rebranding this stuff. It's been around for a while, but since generational AI came out, all of a sudden it's something that's accessible and usable in a completely different way. So we spent all these 2 odd decades building software, building workflows, connecting tools, building dashboards that create new single sources of truth for data and all of that stuff. The challenge we found is that you need to be, 15 million turnover up to be working with us at that level, because it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Now with AI, it's still a lot of hard work, but there's a twist now. So our developers, our marketing team, our designers are all using AI in different ways. The software developers are using it to build huge numbers of rigid performance and unit tests across their work. So we're not seeing that we're developing work faster, but with the quality has gone through the roof. We can suddenly put in those extra levels of security that we couldn't afford to do before at the same budget.
And I guess that sort of iteration process is so much quicker now as well, that feedback loop and, being able to make mistake a little bit quicker and not take months anymore. It's taking a matter of weeks, maybe.
Exactly. Yes. If that, and if you've got 2 potential architectural approaches, you can just MVP both of them and see which works, right? So that's on the code, and also on the analysis of it. If you think I'm doing like 4 to 8 hour workshops analyzing a set of business processes, that's a lot of brain power to then go through every single issue that came up. But now with something like Claude, I can just pull those gems out and it will catch things that I would have missed because it was an offhand comment that actually had some depth behind it. So it's transformed the way we work, but also the way all of our clients work too. And I haven't seen an industry that's not touched by it already.
I was going to say, there's not many, maybe apart from plumbing and building maybe, but AI is involved in the design process and the visualization, or it might be I can see how it would work in all industries, and
absolutely.
I'm yet to find one that it's not working for. So you're harnessing AI in that business, and then what's this new business about then? Because I'm really intrigued. I saw Jeannie put it up. I joined the wait list.
Awesome.
Just because I want to find out more, but you're going to tell me all about it now. So
so this all came from, there are platforms, NA10, in slightly more consumer, something like Lindy, where you can build your own workflows that have agents within them. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to put myself out of a job. Okay. So I'm going to find all the things that I do that really stress me out, and I'm going to automate them, and I'm going to put AI agents where I can. Obviously there's a double thing. I need to learn how this stuff works. And also I don't want to be doing these things.
Of course.
So I started building these workflows. The first one, for example, was a super simple one. My email inbox is hell. So I built a whole suite of automations that basically took my email as it came in, classified it, bumped the important stuff, anything that was a task I had to do, stuck it on my to-do list in Todoist. And suddenly I had kind of a VA working for me, and I was like, this is cool, what else can I do? So the next thing was, I mentioned the workshops that I ran. I built a suite of agents and automations that took the transcripts from the workshops, found all the functional requirements, turned those into functional specifications, passed it on to a proposal agent, which scoped the whole thing out and created a proposal and quote. Now, that was like, that used to take me 2 weeks of workshop.
I was going to say, how long was that? Would that have taken you manually?
That would have taken me 2 weeks, but plus 2 months, because I procrastinate because it's such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's the thing I do, right? So doing that, it would take me down to still 2 or 3 hours, because I need to check this stuff. We're talking about 30 pages of documentation, right? So I still need to check it, but all the hard work has been done and I haven't missed anything, which is incredible. So now I was like, okay, the world needs this. And so I started talking about it at Remote, which was our custom software company. We started advertising AI workflow services. So instead of building the entire system, suddenly we can work with smaller businesses and just custom build these workflows.
Yeah.
And for the first time in a long time, we weren't having to pitch our services. People were WhatsApping us in the evening saying, hey, I've just heard about what you're doing now, I'm in. And so all of a sudden, I'm overwhelmed with proposals again. But for actually doing something quite new and quite different.
Yeah, which that must give you, because it's easy, isn't it, with like your business promote, like you're running it for such a long time, the energy can be up and down, the enthusiasm can be up and down, it can feel like a slog and a little sort of like samey.
Exactly.
Now you've just injected a whole different new energy into the business.
If the best way I've compared it is in 1999, everyone was coming to us saying, "I've been told I need a website. What does that mean?"
Yeah.
Right. It was almost like that. People didn't really know what they would do with a website. They just needed one. Now it's like, I've been told I need AI in my business. What does that mean? So what does that actually mean? Because it generally at the moment, what it means is I use ChatGPT or Claude, right?
Yeah.
But the potential is just phenomenal. And that's what Autumn's really about. So can I draw you a diagram to just explain my process on this, right? So just coincidentally, the Autumn logo is a pyramid, and this is the way I see it in my head. Okay, so imagine the top of the pyramid. That's everything we think about when we say AI at the moment. Initially, conversational AI. I can talk to Claude, and it can plug into my tools now. Very recently, and it can, I don't know, send an email for someone, check my calendar, create an event. Now, even that's pretty cool at the moment, and still pretty new. But within 12 months, that's going to be standard, like a word processor. Okay,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
But that's the top of the pyramid for Autumn. Okay, so Autumn plugs into all the tools you use, and you can just talk to it. You can get the information. You can do commands without having to learn the software.
My God.
And
so the like key, a brain.
Yes, I suppose so. It's like the ultimate COO dropped in your business that can just do stuff and assign stuff and understand what needs to be assigned. So at the end of a meeting, it can pick out the transcript, all the things you promised you'd do, stick them in your to-do list. If it can do those things, it can do them. If it can assign them or arrange them, it can do it. Suddenly you've got a meeting in your calendar for next Thursday because you mentioned that you do that. So that's powerful in itself. And that, I think, is where we're going when we're talking about having AI in our business properly, okay? So agentic AI.
Yeah, agentic.
So what we've built is, Autumn is an agent in itself, but Agent is like the CEO, really. And it has a suite of managers, a communications manager, a research manager, a project manager, and so on. And each of those managers have specialist agents that are brilliant at one thing. So we have an email agent, a research agent, a contacts agent, a leads agent, and that connects with all the different tools that you might use.
That is mad.
Right?
That is mad, and it's mind-blowing, and it's scary AF.
But that's the top. That's the top, okay? So that's not actually where we started. We started in reverse order. But that's what I think people get, okay? Yeah. Because who doesn't want...
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Something that never forgets to sort out your emails for you, sort out your calendar, sort out your meetings, catch the leads that you missed that fell into your CRM, and actually create a nurture sequence for them that's customized to their preferences and what it finds out about them on the internet, okay? But then the next tier, what we call Autumn Core, if you think all of your business's information, not just you, but all of your team members, is going through this Autumn Assistant. So what we've done is we've said every time there's a piece of pertinent information, save it to long-term memory, categorized beautifully. This client, this project, this person, this is a decision, this is a preference, this is an event, this is a piece of information we need to know, which means that I can say, 4 months ago, I'm pretty sure we had a project meeting about how this UI was going to look. What was the decision? Boom, it knows. So this was a request.
Nowhere to hide now.
Right? But also, like, we run big, long, complicated projects. And one of my team members, who actually ended up building it, which is beautiful, he was saying, we need an AI knowledge base because I've got too many decisions that I can't track. So suddenly, the second layer of the pyramid is the core. It remembers everything and knows everything in context. Mm. The third level of the pyramid is workflows. So I described the proposals. Every time there's a meeting, do this, and then do this. You can do this with any act that you can do with your tools and create a workflow in natural language, and it will save it and then say, okay, so every Friday, 5 p.m., check all my leads that week, give me a marketing report, send it to the CEO. Or my investors need a report in finance, plug into Xero, these are the numbers I need, do these calculations, send them by email. Every Friday, 5 p.m. Or every time I get an email, or every time a lead comes in that I qualify as hot, Slack me and give me all their background information. You get the idea?
Holy shit.
And you see how one section of the pyramid compounds on the previous two.
Yeah, I see why you've gone with the triangle analogy and looking at it that way. And it's about building layers into the business, isn't it? But like those core functionalities with knowledge-based memory, and it's like, oh my God, that's insane.
And that's what we call operational intelligence. And this is the way I believe we should be running our businesses. So suddenly we have.
So what's left?
What's left?
What's left for us to do?
Well, that's the beauty of it. You see, all of this stuff, right? I don't believe that you got into your business knowing your talents to mess with spreadsheets or to send emails or organize calendars, right? No way.
Little do you know, Paul. Yeah, of course. No, you bang on the money. Of course you are. Yeah.
Right. And so all of us, and this is the real vision. This is why I do what I do since the start. Okay. We've all got superpowers. We've all got things that we're passionate about. Okay. I was never born to be a rap producer, but what I actually love, and the reason why I loved what I did with the music, was you can use computers to massively multiply the effects of the things that you can do. And so if we can take whatever it is, whether you're a master marketing strategist, or whether you're a business strategist or a lawyer or an accountant, there's something that you do that when you do it, you're in flow, it clicks. You know all that Stephen Kotler stuff. When you're in that zone, that's what you want to be doing. And that, I believe, is why most of us went into business, to do that thing.
But a
couple of years down the line, we find ourselves actually doing everything but that thing. I hadn't coded for 3 years until Autumn came out, and then I was like, I am coding this thing.
Oh my God.
Right? But I went into it because I love coding. But I hadn't, because I'd just been hiring coders because I needed to run the business. Now suddenly I'm coding again. Get it?
So it's essentially we're releasing ourselves back into the business to do the thing that we were meant to do, to get into our zone of genius.
Spot on. Everyone's saying AI is dehumanizing us, but no, we're using AI to put the human back into the workplace.
I fundamentally agree with that. Like, I do think that there's this massive irony about the whole thing. Is like the machines, the robots, they're all coming. They're going to replace. No, they're not. They're going to make us be human again. We've hidden behind digital for so long. It's now time to step out in front of it. Where can people sign up, Paul? Like, where can people go and find out about what you're building, and when do we think it might be ready for testing and investment and all that kind of stuff?
So autumn.ai, AUTM.ai. That's where at the moment we've got a lifetime special offer. So for the price of 10 months, you can subscribe to Autumn forever.
Wow.
We're the first 1,000 users. We really want to be collaborators. We want to bring the Avengers on board, and we're doing that with our investment as well. We're only looking to get one investment round, so we're doing pre-seed investment at the moment. We're close to closing it.
Wow.
And everyone we've brought on board is a specialist in their field who will be on tap essentially to work with us to make Autumn as impactful as I believe it can be.
Wow.
I think we can change lives, and I've never felt that about anything I've done.
Make business
before.
fun again. Make business your zone of genius again. Yeah, human again. Yeah.
What would happen? Can you imagine if you had like 10 people in your team all working in their zone of genius all the time?
Oh my God!
What a difference we could make.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Paul, I've loved this. This has been amazing.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. I know I've signed up to the waitlist already, and I'm looking forward to. I signed up without even really knowing anything about it, but
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, yeah, because I've followed you and Jeannie for a little while now, and I know you're incredible architects and technical geniuses. So,
thank you.
This has been incredible. Where can people find out about? Obviously, we've got Autumn, but where can people follow you, Paul, and Jeannie as well?
Yeah, sure. So our surname McGillivray is pretty. I say it phonetically when I know people are going to type it.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find. So you can find us. Yeah, PaulMcGillivray.com, Jeannie.online. It's much easier for her.
Nice.
And yeah, autumn.ai. You can find links to us there. So. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity for sharing it. I'm really excited about where we're going to go, and it's really exciting to have a whole business community behind us and part of it too.
I'm excited to follow it and see what you do. I'm morbidly curious, and I want to get in. I don't want to miss out. So,
well, we'll get you in there as an early adopter, and we'll get your feedback.
That would be incredible. Yeah. Thank you so much. And listen, mate, enjoy the rest of the festival. And the sun's finally come out, so
yeah,
go grab a beer.
Nice.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.